10 minutes ago, maybe it was. I don't know how long you went on that for. You talked about simplifying the customizability of an immutable system. So, a lot of people are like weirded out with the way that immutable systems work because the way that you customize them is very, very different. And a lot of them traditionally have just not had the documentation there to really do that customization. Like, if we take Silverblue, for example, if you want to go and change from GNOME to another desktop, there is documentation there, but it's very developer focused. It's okay, you're going to make your own distro based off of this. It's not, okay, you're a user and you want to use i3, for example. Get rid of GNOME, put i3 there instead. And the place that you do that isn't... You don't install the package as part of the runtime. You do it at build time. So it's this really different way of interacting. So the point I'm getting at here is I'm really happy to see these different ways of handling immutable systems, doing it in a declarative way, doing it in like all of these, and like doing these like containerized solutions as well, where you can run a container separate from your main system that's still integrated into it. All of these solutions, I don't know like ultimately what is the best way to do it, but I'm happy that people are exploring different ways to handle these systems.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have a person on our team for that purpose, that exclusively focuses on the documentation. So Asterisk, just he's a member of our team, and aside from infrastructure, his primary focus is documentation. So prior to the official stable release of V4, our aim is to document every single function of it. And even right now, it is, if you are reasonably, if you're a semi-advanced user of Linux, that is, if you have been using Linux for more than 6 months, you'll probably be able to find your way around it because it is really self-explanatory. So if you just, so by the way, if you just look up the BlenOS V4 blog post, by the way, you might find that. Yeah, you might just
Blended
want to put
V4
it on
Alpha, is
screen.
that what it's called? Or is there another one?
Yeah. The BlenOS V4 Alpha.
Okay.
That one. Yeah, so if you just pull up the blog post for that, yeah, this is on Hashnet, by the way, here. So so first off, you can just include any packages you want to. You can include any services if you want to enable them. This is something we have included in the new documentation. Right now, I have to update this, by the way. Right now, just mentions packages. But if you just go down to the third step, that's just as simple as that. So you just select the tag you want. So you can select GNOME as well. That is mentioned in the blog post. You can choose to use GNOME. You can use Plasma, XFCE, Mate, and we also have Budgie and a bunch of other desktop environments, but we haven't mentioned them because we haven't tested them.
Right.
We have tested them; they work, but not beyond that. Because like with Deepin, we used to ship a version of BlenOS V3 that had Deepin out of the box, except that was heavily broken because Deepin was broken on Arch Linux, and that was never, with no one ever tested the Deepin. No one ever tested the Deepin spin of BlenOS. So yeah, I mean, yeah, until I think ZGNet wrote an article on that. ZGNet wrote an article on BlenOS. ZGNet or Czech Republic, one of them, but it was Jack Wallen. I know that. He does both. So he wrote an article on it, and he unfortunately, I think he reviewed BlenOS V3 Deepin. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a fan of Deepin, and in our documentation we have specifically mentioned. So we have docs right now itself as well. So if you just pull up docs with BlenOS core, we have documentation there. And I think we have mentioned. I think we have Deepin. Yeah, we have mentioned this. We have mentioned this as a danger sign. Danger, do not use Deepin. Deepin on Arch is currently quite broken. We recommend against using it. So this is something we've mentioned over the download link. I think they just skipped over it and they decided to try BlenOS V3 Deepin. And yeah, I think you can imagine how well that went. Yeah.
Do you know why it's broken on Arch? Any idea? Or
yeah. Okay. Yeah, we do. It is so. From what they call, you just have to create a file under the user directory to get it working, and this is something Ubuntu DDE Also, just yeah, I mean, this is just a bit hacky. I think we could, we could do that if we wanted to, but for now we've just marked it as experimental. We can if we want to. It just doesn't feel right, just including an atom file under the user directory. And people can do that if they want to. They can just add this to the system configuration. They can add a file. They can edit a file, they can add a line to the file to create an empty file with that name if they want to. If they're hardcore fans of Deepin. But we just didn't feel it was right because aside as well, I mean, there are a bunch of bollocks for Deepin on Arch. It just isn't a first party experience. You do not want to use Deepin on Arch. Plus, I mean, with GNOME and stuff, previously Deepin's appeal used to be it was a good looking desktop environment. However, with Plasma, I mean, Nikolov had worked on the floating panel as well. I mean, with all of those efforts, that just makes Plasma the clear option, if you want something like that. This is personally speaking. I know there are going to be people that still love Deepin, and I'm not going to give it up at any moment. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Plasma just supersedes that. But even opinions aside, you can just make a single change to your file if you want to have it. And since people haven't asked for it, many people, so we haven't included a spin of Deepin that where we've tried to iron out every single one of these issues because no one has just asked for that, and we do not have the manpower to maintain an entire Deepin variant with all of the fixes it requires, with all of the hacks it requires and stuff. So yeah,
you're definitely. If there's anyone that's in a position to not tell people to just keep using the thing they have nostalgia for, I think that's you. Like, oh, you made an entire distro based around your nostalgia. You keep working on your nostalgia. If people like the nostalgia of Deepin, they're gonna keep using Deepin.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, probably yeah, because I think I'm just as other people usually view Unity, people sometimes. I mean, yeah, some people just don't see the appeal of it. Many people don't. But I think I'm just veering deep into the same lens here, so I'm probably gonna stop. Yeah.
I'm having a look at a picture right now. I can see why people like Deepin, but
yeah,
I also see what Plasma 6 looks like now and the work that's being done there. And I get it, like, there was a time where Plasma did not look good. And that wasn't very long ago. It was actually fairly recent.
Trinity, Plasma 3 and Plasma 4. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
or even just Plasma out of the box in early 5 wasn't in the best of states.
Exactly. It was just a mix between flat design, material design, and the arcade designs of Plasma 4. It was just oxygen and breeze. It was just a hybrid of the two, and it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.